Arriving at Watchpoint, Gibraltar. Ready for battle.
Alrighty. So here, what I usually like to do when I'm Lucio on this map, first thing I usually do is, so you're down with your team, which is like, it's fine, I guess, but I usually hop out either up here, down there, whatever. I climb this wall here, I go up here, hop on the side, check to make sure there's anyone here. Then I go ride the wall here, ride around here, and then if there's someone up here, I move them down. If they were right here where they are now, I would hop around to the back, and then I would boop one or two of them down to make them feed. So, like, I would pick the Reinhardt or something, and I would just knock him down off the high ground. And then everybody up here now has no shield. So they now have to either risk dying and fighting you with no shield, drop to help their Reinhardt, or back off. And you've done that all just by hopping up there, going around, and booping off the high ground. Because people usually just stand right by the ledge here, or in higher ranks they usually stand right up here. And it's an easy way to boop them off. So instead of just chilling on the cart and getting poke damage, I would usually just go up there and get a quick boop. You do want to be careful about stuns potentially, but usually if you're just hopping off from the high ground up there, it's usually not too bad. I do actually need to hold up. There we go. Needed to get my pen thing here. Yeah. So anyways, yeah, if you usually hop up right up on the side here, you come up here, and you can boop somebody down here. And that will usually, like, they can't really stun you too easily there because you're literally just like, you jump off and just boom, boom, and you're gone. Like, it's in, out real fast. Like, you're not staying for a killer or anything, so it's not really all that dangerous. So, that's the way that I would usually go about doing it, but it's personal preference a little bit. But Lucio's not that good at poking. Like, the way you're playing right now, like, you're just kind of chilling with your team, tanking spam damage, etc. Like, that's kind of how you would, I don't know, like, you're acting like a Zen, you know what I mean? Like, you're on the cart, you're just chilling, like, you're doing stuff, you're shooting at shields, you're walking around, like, this is what Zens do. Like, you're a Lucio, you know, wall ride, boot people off high ground. Denying people high ground is a massive, massive part of Lucio, and this map is very, very good for that because there's just so much high ground, Lucio can access it, and a lot of other people can't. So the fact that you're just allowing the enemy team to just have the high ground permanently is probably not the best thing. Because like right here, like this job that you're doing as Lucio, this same job could be served more or less better by as Zen, because this is Zen's thing. You know, sitting there on the cart and having a brawl and like focusing down targets and stuff and focusing shields, that's what Zen does. So you're a Lucio, so you want to contest high ground and displace the enemy. So right here, your Ryan's really weak this whole time, so what I would be saying here is like right around, let's see. Okay, so your amp heals here, right? Okay, so you're down here, you have no amp, but right here, your Ryan, you see like your Ryan's alone here, his shield is half, and you don't have amp. And your healer, your other healer, your Mercy is not healing him, and he's alone. So like, there's like 3 enemies walking into him, right? You as Lucio cannot heal him through this damage. Like maybe if you were an Ana, you would be able to, but you're a Lucio, you can't. Even if you had amp, which you don't, you can't heal him through this. So what you need to be doing instead is you need to be telling your Ryan to back up, and you need to be speeding him out. Because while you can't heal him through this damage, you can have him run away from the damage. Like, they're Reinhardt and Zarya, like, they need to be, so they're Brig and Reinhardt, right? They have 2 melee heroes, right? These guys, they can't do a whole ton of damage to him unless they're close. So if you just tell him to hold S until your main killer can, etc., can get to him, then it'll be a lot easier for you. Because you can just have him run away from 2 of the main sources of damage that can get through his shield in Brig and Reinhardt. So you just should be calling out that your Ryan is backing up right now. You should be like, back up, back up, back up, and speeding him while he does so. because your heal aura here really doesn't help. Because right there, his barrier is destroyed now, right? He is holding S this whole time. He's aware he needs to be leaving, so you wouldn't even need to call it at this point. You would just need to swap to speed and help him do what he's already trying to do. Your amp is almost off cooldown, so here you should be swapping to speed and amping immediately. And your Rhine would very easily escape if you did that. I'm not sure if he will escape here. He did not. But if you were on speed that whole time, he would have made it the extra 2 feet to make it to this corner here, and he would have lived. However, he does get res, so that's helpful. Enemy Reinhardt barrier is now destroyed. I would be speeding your team in, taking some space here, and then you could play this corner that you're currently at and get your Reinhardt here quicker. I would probably amp heals right there. I don't know about that boop there. So here, what I would probably be doing is, so you see your McCree doing weird McCree things over here, right? He's over on the side. Gibbs and McCree. You should probably be speeding him during his high noon. Also, I would like to see you just use high ground more often. You've been on the low ground a lot. Like, I know you're trying to play with your team, but like, you getting up on the high ground, like you can still heal your team from up there. You know what I mean? So like, if you say say this camera's you, right? So like, you're up on thing here. Like, say you're riding right here. You would still be healing everybody you're healing now. Say you're up here. You would still be healing everybody you're needing now. You just wouldn't be taking spam damage, and you would also be able to very easily poke down at their tanks and get aggressive. So, and then if you see anybody ever actually gets the high ground, like up there on this side over here or anything like that, you can harass them. Alternatively, say that like one of their supports is out of position or doesn't have their cooldowns or something like that. Like you could help like finish a low target by just kind of playing up around here on the high ground there, kicking around, and then like if you see an opportunity, you can go for it. But when you're playing all the way back here on the cart, like it's very hard for you to get aggressive on people because you would have to use like your amp or a lot of cooldowns, or you'd have to like run straight at them to do so, as opposed to just falling spring down on top of them, right? How am I not first person? That's awkward. There we go. Okay. So that amp was probably a little premature, but it's not too terrible. Your McCree's high nooning, it would be good to speed him during that kind of thing. Here I would beat immediately. When your Ryan's, that's good. So I do like the beat there, but at the same time, when you do beat, you do be careful about jumping prior to your beat. It's kind of like jumping with an Earth Shatter. I don't know if you play any Reinhardt or just have seen Reinhardts do this, but like if they jump and then Earth Shatter, your ult obviously it doesn't go off till it hits the ground, right? So you're just giving people more time to react to it, but more importantly for Lucio, you're giving your teammates who are already critical more time to die. So like your Ryan, if you're watching his HP right now, he's half, right? He's still half. Like he's fine, yeah, but like say they were hard focusing him. Like he went down pretty low there. See, he went to a quarter HP right there, right before that beat went off. Say that whatever hit him was like a Widow headshot, he would have just died. So like, and the reason why is because you jumped. So like right here, you're on top of the cart. Let's just a tiny bit here. So like, see, you're here. You get see him walled instantly. Right here, I would be beating and going around the wall because beat has a cast time. And during that cast time, for like about half second to a second and a half after you cast your beat, if you gain LOS of a teammate, they will get the beat afterwards. So like you can drop it and then walk around a wall, and the person on the other side of that wall will get the beat. So like same thing with barriers. I'm sure you know barriers block drop the beat from like say like there was a Reinhardt barrier. Say this May wall right in front of you is a Reinhardt barrier, right? And your Reinhardt is on the other side. Or say it's a Winston bubble and your Reinhardt's inside the Winston bubble, and you drop the beat on the other side, your Rein would not get it, right? But say you drop the beat on the other side and then you walk into the Winston bubble. Then people on the outside and on the inside of the Winston bubble will both get the beat. So same thing with this Maywall here. I would be speeding yourself around, probably hop off the side of it, and then as you're crossing, like as you're getting near the edge of the May wall, I would be beating. And then you could get everybody on this side of the wall, and then as you peeked everybody on the other side of the wall, they would also get it. But here, you jump right here, and then beat. So you're all the way up here, up in the sky. Which, I mean, damn, you look fucking awesome, dude. But you don't need to be up there, you know what I mean? Like, you don't need to be this high up. What you do need to, like, you should just be on the ground as low as possible, because your ult will go off way faster. And what you can even do is, like, you can start on low ground and you can beat onto a higher surface. So instead of what you did just now is you were on a higher surface, jumped, and then pressed Q, which brings you really high, right? What you could instead do is be on a lower surface, look at a higher surface, and then since pressing Q does give you a little leap, and you like look at, say, the payload, right? And you're right here, and then you press Q, boop, you'll do a tiny little hop, but you'll land sooner because you landed on a higher surface. You know what I mean? So your beat would go off sooner. So having a really like long cast time like this, you're making it way worse by dropping from that high up. So like you risk your Reinhardt's death there, when you really shouldn't have like needed to do that. So it worked out this time. You got the beat off, but sometimes it won't. You know, like sometimes the beat comes like a second too late and everybody dies. So sometimes like that half second or whatever is the difference between a win and a loss. So it's good to know how to min-max those kinds of things. Okay, so back to you. That being said, that was a well-timed beat. It was just you could have slightly done a little better mechanically on that. Also, so your team is up a lot now. You got lots of kills here. This May's alone. I say 100% you should be speeding your team into the May here, even just alone. Like you could go alone. Like she's weak. Literally just run at her and just speed into her and kill her. Make sure she dies. Now that you have captured the point, the enemy respawns have changed. So if you look at the enemies up in the top left, you see like people that are dead, and you can see the respawn timers. You can also do this in game by holding tab. So usually right now you see that you've gotten the checkpoint and you can look immediately who's dead. That's what you should be thinking when you cap a point. So you're right here, the payload's moving towards it, it's currently contested, whatever. Okay, there's the May, right? Okay, and you see right now there's 3 dead. There's a Brig dead, a Moira dead, and a Zarya dead. Brig just spawned. And bam. Capped, right? So if you press tab right here, which is what you should do in a game, you should always press tab, which does nothing for me now, but you can see the same information up here. And you can see the enemy respawns if you press tab in a game. And you would see that the Moira and the Zarya both spawned very far back from the rest of their team. And everybody else spawned close. So that tells you that if you run it to them right now, they will have, the May's right here, she's about to die, they will have Brig, Reinhardt, and Ashe. 3 of them. So if you take everybody except for one person, so if you just say, okay, McCree or Mercy or somebody, stay on cart, and you, as the Lucio, take your team and speed them to the enemy spawn. So like right now, you should already be like going. Like now that you've capped, you should be holding tab, checking who's going, and running up here to catch these people who are coming out of the old spawn. So you're going to have Reinhardt, you're going to have Brig, and you're going to have Ashe. These 3. And then the other ones are stuck at the other spawn. So you should take 5 of your teammates and take these 3 people and stomp them into the dirt because you have more people. So you just run at them, throw your bodies at them, and I guarantee you will win because it's just not possible like to lose a 5v3. That's just really, it would be really hard, especially when they don't even have their Moira. They're just solo Brig heals. So you should just run at them and run them down. And that's one of your big things as Lucio, is catching respawns and continuing the aggression and making sure that your team is catching staggers. So right here, you should be telling your Rein and in your Zarya and everyone, you should be saying, okay, we're go, get these guys, catch the staggers. Like you should call out if your team is like, oh, why are we getting aggressive here? You should tell them it's 3v5. Just walk at them, just kill them. So just walk into him here. You should be speeding. Your Zarya has the right idea. Your McCree has the right idea. Your Reinhardt does not. So you should already be up here with your Zarya, and you should be speeding. You should be amping speed even. You caught the brig, but like it would but like it's possible she gets away if you don't help with the speed. Okay, you're down to McCree, but you should still be getting aggressive here and catching the respawns. Now the enemy, it's probably too late at this point. I think that they're probably back from the respawn. Yeah, so they are. Okay, so now you're losing people. But had you not hesitated and you'd walked up there, you would have been able to very easily get them. So here, your Ryan gets walled. I would probably swap to speed and amp so he can, and to help him get the hell out of there, and then boop them away. So you did amp, but you amped the wrong thing. You amped heals, not speed. You got to help your Ryan get out of these situations because your heals are not going to be enough to save people. And had your Ryan gotten back around that corner, maybe he lives, and maybe you force out a couple more ults to force them to win the team fight. Granted, they just still did have grab, and you didn't have bead for it, so like that was, you know, you're probably gonna lose that anyways. But like, maybe, you know, maybe they would have missed or something because your Ryan would have got out of the way. Okay, so once again here, you're Lucio, right? And I was about to say, high ground is a thing that you deny. That's one thing that you're very good at. So as your team is pushing in here, I mean, they kind of like speed's helpful a little bit, but what I would be doing is, Lucio, is I would be coming out, and I would like maybe even not even come out this door. Like I'd probably just go out this way because it's easier, and then I would just go up here, and then I would come out the high ground here, and then I would wall ride off this thing, boom, 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 and then I would boop her off the high ground, and I would just chill here, because your team doesn't need the speed if they're not being pressured. You know, like they need speed to get through a choke while they're taking spam, and if they're not taking spam because you've removed the person that's shooting them, then they're fine. They don't need speed. So what you do is you boop her off, and then you can actually still help your team with your aura from up here. So up here or over here. So you go over here and see, hey, does my team need healing? You know, you amp if you need it, or you just chill for a second. And then as they push the cart around, you come back here, and you're just continuing to deny this high ground from anybody that comes up here. You just say, sorry, I have a boop, and you boop them right back down. If they do come into this room, that'll be much harder for you to contest. You maybe don't want to 1v1 them in a small room like this, but like if they're on a catwalk like this, it's very, very easy for you to boop them off the high ground. And she has a long cooldown, I think 10, 11 seconds on her coach gun to get back up here, or to walk all the way around in front of your entire team to get to the stairs, whereas your boop is like a 3-second cooldown. So you should be up on the high ground and booping her down. And that should be one of your main objectives as Lucio, is to deny high ground from the enemy DPS and tanks. So even right here, see how you're hopping up on the side here? This is fine that you came out down here, but right here, hop up on this, get up there, and then hop down and go get her. Like once you see this dynamite come through, you should be thinking that you want to deny the high ground from her. That was a brave res by your Mercy there. Okay, your team is probably in trouble. Maybe winnable though. Okay. I'd be booping him away instead of turning. So like you want to back up as you're, like, or rather you want to, you don't want to be running away not looking at them. Like you can wall ride backwards as long as you have that on. So there is a setting. I don't know if you actually have it turned on. I can't tell. But if you go to Lucio here and you go to Hero, first of all, this should always be on. I don't know if you have it on, but it's very helpful as a healer. I also like this. But anyways, allow backwards wall ride right here. This should be on. I don't know if you have this on, but this should be on. Because then, in this situation where you're running away from the enemy, right here, you can be amping and walking backwards and wall riding backwards and knocking walls backwards as you go. And then this Reinhardt that's hitting you in the back right here, because like right here you should be turned looking at the enemy, wall riding backwards and speeding backwards probably. And then right here you get hit by a Reinhardt, right? He just whacks you with a hammer. You turn around and you boop him away. Instead of continuing to get hit, like because you're just getting hit and getting hit, just boop him out of his melee range and then you'll be fine. So your Mercy dies there. Unfortunate. Probably regroup here. But I think had you booped him away, maybe your Mercy lives. But like you risk death there by not doing that. So going to speed your Mercy back, that's fine. Okay, so here, once again, Ashe, same spot. I would say high ground, go get her. Amping the heals there is fine, but do be very careful about peeking the Ashe. You gotta be aware of the damage breakpoints, how much damage she does. So you did a good job not peeking her there. You should be speeding in now that your team is up. And since you are on attack, I would, like the same way that you used your beat on the first point very aggressively, which was good. It was sort of defensive to save your Reinhardt, but at the same time it was very aggressive because it wasn't in response to an enemy ultimate. So right here, I think you should just tell your entire team to run into them and you should just beat. Because you are up as Zarya and you just need to end this fight. You know what I mean? So like on attack, it doesn't matter if you're countering enemy grabs or whatever. Like you don't need to do that as much on attack because if you lose a fight, it doesn't matter. You just reset from spawn, you come back, you do it again. Whereas on defense, if you lose a fight, you might lose the point. So on attack, you can use your beat a lot more aggressively and use it to just run into the enemy and win a fight as opposed to countering an enemy ultimate. So here I think you've picked the Zarya, so that's like a good opportunity for you guys to like get aggressive. The enemy Mei has also used her wall, so like this is a great opportunity for you guys to press W and for you to beat. So I think right here you should amp speed and see the Reinhardt enemy. Reinhardt shield is weak. You should just amp speed, run into the enemy Reinhardt, and beat. Nice. So you didn't need beat, obviously, but even in these situations, always amp speed into that. Like when you see a opportunity that like the enemy is down, like you should always have a counter in your head of we have 6 people alive, they have 5 people alive, and if they do, you press W in those situations. And you as Lucio should be the shot caller a lot of the time to let people know because people are utilizing your speed and you need to be like telling people where to go and when to go there because you're the one with the speed. So keeping track of macro things like that is very, very good for Lucio. Probably speed right there to help your Ryan get around the wall. This Ana is very out of position here. So once again, you cap the point, right? So what you should be doing, I remember at the end of first point, the thing I said that you should be doing. So at the end of the point, you go, okay, who spawned close, who spawned far? So you go, you hit tab. Okay, everybody has spawned close, is what happened. So right now, you know that if you'd press tab, you would know that everybody on their team, Ana, has spawned close. So that means that you need to run to this spawn here and catch anybody who's walking very slowly back to their team. So this Ana here, you should be running at her and bullying the shit out of her because she just used both of her cooldowns. You as a Lucio, you can 100% just 1v1 her if she's alone, especially if she has no cooldowns. Okay, you guys are up right now. There's a good res. Once again, you do still have beat. You could feel totally comfortable using it aggressively here. They also do have a crap ton of ultimates, but I'd say just use it aggressively a lot of the time. Speeding after this guy is a good thing, good call. Because like, you just want to catch staggers here. And that was a pretty decent beat. Alright, amp heals in the grab here. Nice. Try and boop away the Ryan. Calling for your Ryan to back up, speed him. Okay, he pressed W. It's kind of weird. He's dead now. Okay, so here I would probably call a regroup, but at the same time, it's kind of winnable. But like, I would at least call caution, you know, because like you're down near Reinhardt, so they have a main tank right now and you do not. So if you're getting the pick still, that's fine. You can take the fight because your DPS are doing very well. But you do need to like call out, we're down a main tank, because that should be, no, that should tell your team how to do things. However, your Ryan is dead again. He got rezzed again, he's dead again. Okay, so, okay. I keep getting confused sometimes with these colors, but it's okay. Because your Ryan is, like up here it says red team, right? But like when the enemy Ryan holds right click, like if you see right here, the enemy Ryan's holding right click, this guy right here, that's the enemy Ryan. And it's a red shield, and I see red team, so I think friendly Reinhardt, but that's not friendly Reinhardt, because your friendly Reinhardt is dead. This is enemy Reinhardt, so this was just confusing for me. Okay. Anyways, replay semantics aside, that was a nice attempt on a boop there. You want to speed him out of the ult, nice job. Okay. Okay, so Zarya, you see the Zarya used her shields here? Okay, so what I was going to say here is when Zarya uses her self bubble, you want to boop her into your team right after her bubble ends. So you see right there, Zarya uses her self bubble, right? So you should know that because you tried to boop her there, and then you get out of the ult here. You go, okay, Zarya's self bubble's still down. So Zarya pushes your Ashe here, she still doesn't have a bubble. So you should be riding around the side here. What I would do is I would go off her on the side, knock off this cart, and then I would boop her in towards your team because she can't protect herself that well without her bubble. So like you might make her feed is just all I'm trying to say here. So trying to displace people like that, little small things like that, they might not feed. They might be bailed out by the supports. Your team might not capitalize on it. But you just need to look for those kind of things. And right here, you did exactly the opposite of what I wanted you to do, I think. So you did boop them, just the wrong direction. You booped them to safety here. So right here, you come in, and I wanted you to go off the right side of this box. You go off the left, and you boop them backwards because this Mei is weak. The Zarya has no bubble, or no self bubble. So you boop them backwards, which saves them. So the Zarya is weak. Mei is weak. You boop them backwards. So if you'd come off the other side and boop them towards your team, I think they would have both died right there. So that's just a little thing you got to be thinking about, booping people into your team and making them feed after they use their protective abilities and cooldowns. Here I'd probably be amping heal for a little bit. Okay, a little late on that, but you were shattered. Not much to be done. I'd be amping speed, running backwards towards spawn. Okay, it's fine, you reset. Okay, so here on your regroup here, you should probably be thinking, hey, what does the enemy have for ultimates? Do they have anything? Do we need to worry about this? And then you would know last fight they shattered you, so you know they don't have shatter. Last fight they rallied, so you know they don't have rally. They nanoed, you know they don't have nano, etc. All these things. So you should be thinking the only thing I haven't seen in a while is grab. So now you're thinking, does Zarya have grab? Are we just going to die to it, or should we focus Zarya? I don't have beat for grab. How are we going to play around this? Do we just do a dry fight and see if we can not beat? That was very dangerous, hopping in front of the Reinhardt there. See, here okay, your Rein's dead. I think you regroup. Yeah, you're dead. You're all dead. Okay, cool. At least it was a clean wipe. So, once again, their Reinhardt did a lot of damage in the grab, so you know he's getting closest to shatter again. They didn't get a whole ton of healing done that fight because your team didn't get anything done, so you should know their support ults aren't very far along. However, your team is getting a lot of stuff done here, so what I would say you guys should probably do is I would have your Rein hold right click, as you know, as Reins do, and then I would have your McCree stand behind him and press Q. And then both of them should just walk towards the enemy, and you should amp speed. So the enemy will try to LOS the high noon, but you just walk right after him with speed and amp it. And then they will continue to try and run away. McCree just gets closer and closer, walking around the corner, and then he shoots, you pop his shield, right? And then after you pop the enemy Rein shield with high noon, or theoretically you maybe even get a kill or two with that, because that's actually pretty powerful, speed boost high noon behind a Rein shield. So you might get a couple kills, but if you don't, whatever, you broke their shield, you shatter, right? So that should be your game plan for the fight, is what I think. Okay, your Rein is dead. You just reset and spawn, probably, to be honest. Your Mercy rezzed it, but she's gonna die. Yep, okay, we go back to spawn. Back to spawn, back to spawn. Probably call that out for your teammates. Okay. Okay. So same thing, more or less the same ultimates that we were thinking last time, except they had more time to build this portal, so they might have in this fight. So, nice. You got to be swapping to speed here to get people out of the Mei ultimate. Looks like you didn't need it by some miracle, but like you were sitting on heals there when everyone was being frozen, so you want to swap to speed real fast, help everyone get out. That was a good amp on speed to get your Ryan away from the enemy Ryan out of the swing radius. Okay. Okay, that was decent boop here. Enemy Bob, I would be trying to boop it, but yeah, you're dead. Okay, so it doesn't really seem like you guys had a plan for that fight. It just kind of y'all went in and pressed Q and died. So like I think talking to your team and trying to like dictate the flow of the fight is one of your big things as Lucio. So 10 seconds left. You gotta be thinking who's gonna touch. Amping in, this is fine. That was actually a pretty nice boop. I like the aggressiveness there, because I haven't been seeing you doing that much this game, and you can get a lot out of doing that. So you're very like with your team style Lucio, which is fine. Like you can play like that. You just, if you do, you have to be very, very comms oriented, telling your team when to push up, when to back off, when they have an advantage, you need to be capitalizing on it with speed. But like I would also like to see you being a lot more aggressive, like you just did, because right now the enemy they have one stun. It's a brig. So if you just give the brig a wide berth, you can just bully everybody all the time and just boop them around, be annoying, all that stuff, and get them to do those kind of things. So right here you should be speeding in because you should be looking at the kill feed and see that all this is your team getting kills, which means no survivors. So you should be speeding in and killing this Ashe and making sure that you get the stagger as late as possible so she dies. She does die. But you should be on the front line, not riding cart. You're a Lucio. So like that's your thing, is you get up in everyone's face. Okay, so right here, you guys are about to cap. So right here you should be calling out, Reinhardt, hold the door. So you tell your Reinhardt, stand at this door and do what your Reaper's doing. He should be right here, swinging at the door. And he should force them to run through him to get to the point. And then your Zarya's got the right, she's on the other door. That's fine. And then you should probably be right up there with them, boop people back so they can't touch the point. And then Mercy can heal from the point. She should just push the card. Anyways, here's you on the card. Cool. Okay, you got the point. But like, say that Tracer come out and touch and stall it or whatever. Like you wanna make this as hard for them as possible. So this is like a comms thing, I guess. Okay, let's go back a little bit here. So let's just pause real fast because I skipped a whole bunch. So let's look at your team. You have Hog, Orisa, Torb, McCree, Mercy. Okay, cool. So this is kind of a bunker comp. Once again, this is sort of a thing that you would usually see Zen in. Like last time, like on attack, it was a very, very, very good comp for Lucio with the Rein Zarya. You speed them around and stuff. Here it's usually more of a Zen Baptiste kind of Ana thing that you might see in this kind of comp. It's much more stationary. Like you have a lot of trouble getting a lot of use out of your speed, which is a problem because the kind of Lucio playstyle that you have is very with your team, speeding them around, doing stuff with your team, and making sure they capitalize on the flow of the fight when they get picks and pushing in, that kind of stuff. And you can't really do that very well with an Orisa, right? So your playstyle here is going to need to change a lot to work with this team comp. You'll need to be a lot more aggressive and play a lot more booping people off high ground, a lot less with your team. As a general rule, that's like how you would need to play to really, really succeed on Lucio here. Like obviously you still do come back to your team and like you still do amp heals for them and you do still like help them do rotations with your speed. By the way, you should probably be idling on heals. So like right here, you're just chilling behind a shield, right? So you're idling on speed, right? Like no, everybody's full HP, so I can kind of see why you would do that, but like you're not moving, you're not going anywhere, right? So the speed doesn't really help. So like your team is planning to stay stationary, so you should just chill on heals. Also, like it kind of messes with hit scan and like your friendly hit scan aim a little bit, like if you just chill on speed sometimes, or at the very least if you're swapping it up a lot. But so like I know, for example, if I'm on Widowmaker, say I was a Widowmaker and I'm standing right here and I'm strafing back and forth just a little bit left and right as I'm like aiming. And then my Lucio's like spot swapping heals and speed next to me. Like sometimes it messes up my shot. So do be aware of that. However, if your team's not really going anywhere, I wouldn't be doing this. And I do think your McCree falls off the high ground here because he's expecting to walk slower than he is. And I think he accidentally walks forward here, just a little bit too far. right here. I think he accidentally, like, he's AD spam and he just falls off like a weirdo. So that's kind of his fault, but maybe that wouldn't have happened where you're not on speed, making him walk a little faster. So he should feed here for that, but hopefully he doesn't. You do swap the heals after. Your McCree is kind of walking in like a weirdo. Okay, your tanks had to drop now for your McCree, which is unfortunate. So I think you probably should have continued to be on the high ground here. Running Hog Orisa into Ryan Zarya is actually really rough because, like, if they get in this close range fight here, they have a huge advantage. Because, like, your advantage here is the shield spam, and you can play at the range and halt hook combo. But, like, halt hook combo is really, really hard to get off against a Ryan Zarya comp because literally if you hit the halt on the Ryan, he just gets sucked up and he holds right click and blocks it, right? So your team needs to be playing much more ranged rotations things. So if the enemy's getting close to you like this, you guys just need to run. You just need to run. And you should be calling that out in, like, speeding people out. Because, like, honestly, I don't even think your tank should have dropped here. They should have just left your McCree to die. Because he would have come back and y'all wouldn't have fed, you know, a couple thousand HP in old charge. So I'd be leaving here, you'd be speeding out, getting the hell out of there. And leaving towards spawn. Okay. So a little late on the realizing you needed to leave. But that's fine. So with this comp, Ryan Zarya into Orisa Hog, you need to be playing very, very far away and spamming down their shields prior to them getting there. And if you let them get close, like, you kind of almost auto-lose. So you gotta be really, really careful about that. Yeah. Okay, so once again, playing with your team is kind of your style, from what I've seen. But, like, with this team, like, you got to be denying high ground on this point, especially because high ground is very, very, very important on second point, right? So you got to be going high ground, probably right about now. And you see the soldier just shot right up here. You should probably be saying, this is my high ground, and you're not allowed there. So I would be going up right now and booping that soldier. So right here, I would hop here, here, get up on the high ground, hop here, and then if he's not shooting at you by now, he should be, but whatever. And then if best case scenario, you boop him into your team right here, and he dies. That's best case scenario. But ideally, you just want to contest him. Worst case scenario, say you hop up here, he chunks you for half your HP, and drops his healing pod because you've done some damage to him. Then you just hop up, leave, get on top of that, or drop, whatever, get down there, whatever. You drop at the high ground, right? You don't fight him. But you forced out the healing pod, right? And then you come back 5 seconds later after the healing pod's gone, and then fight him or boop him down. Like, you're Lucio, you're very fast, you can kind of decide your own engagement, like, whenever you want. Because, like, you're fast enough that, like, you get to decide these kind of things. So I would be going up there and harassing that soldier. Or at least, because right now, you see, which I don't know if you just saw what's just happening there, but, like, you can kind of take these, like, usually what Zen would do, say you were Zen, right? You would see the soldier up there, you would put a Discord on him, and then you would have your friendly DPS, you would say, go 1v1 him up there, and then you would give them a Harmony Orb and say, you have my blessing. So you would, and that's exactly what's happening. See, your McCree is fighting him. So if you were Zen, you'd give him a Harmony Orb, him a Discord, right? And then he would go do his thing. As Lucio, you can't do that. So you would hop up there, and you'd be with the McCree. And now this is a 2v1. And the soldier goes, oh shit, and he runs away, right? Because he's fast as fuck. He can't catch him now, right? So you, as Lucio, if you had done what I was saying a second ago, hop up there, and you're up here, and you're fighting this guy, you could speed him after this guy, and he would not escape. And then you get the kill, and this gives your team a pick. So focusing out isolated targets like this and denying high ground, massive here, and very, very important. So taking, like, your 1v1s here that your DPS are having and making them 2v1s with you assisting is very, very important. So I'd be looking for those kind of opportunities. Looping her away is fine here. Want to keep space. you should be trying to, like, when your Reinhardt's shield is down weak like that, you just need to be like telling him to play a corner, give some space here, because like the soldier's destroying the shield and everything. So like right here you see your Reinhardt. Okay, right here, your Reinhardt's getting pretty weak, right? And his shield's starting to crack. You should be speeding him back. You should say, get out, get out, get out, and then like help him get behind a wall, basically. Because you guys don't really have the heals to be keeping up with this, and him just standing in the open here with no shield is just a death sentence. So help your Reinhardt's manage their aggression. That's a pretty good like thing for Lucio to do as a shot caller. That being said, you do want to be helping your enemy DPS, or sorry, your friendly DPS with their 1v1s. So your McCree did end up losing that 1v1 with the soldier. So if we go up here and watch your McCree, so right here you see the soldier, right? This is a second after I was saying that he was shooting, right? So you say you come up here and you're helping the McCree. And the McCree's coming up here, he's doing McCree things. He misses because he's a weirdo. Okay, soldier ran away, right? He's like, okay. Now your McCree's fighting someone else. Say you were still here with him. You're fighting him, fighting with your McCree. You would have helped him here, and you would have been healing him. He wouldn't have fucking panicked, probably. And you could even dive on this Ashe that he got very weak and kill him. So like these kind of situations is where you should be helping your DPS. Okay. I do not think you. Let me check real fast. Okay, no, yeah, you did not beat. Okay, so ending heals here. Probably should be on speed though. Should be calling out for your Reinhardt to hide. Should be speeding your Torb during his ultimate. You're down 2. I probably would not beat here. I'd probably just escape, to be honest. You need to have a hard reset here. That point's probably gone, but it might not be. So you can speed your Rein in here if you want to. If you do want him to touch. If not, I would just be leaving. Okay, your Rein's dead. I'd leave. It's gone. So I'd speed out. Okay. So now your teammates need to all just die. And then you need to make sure that your team doesn't stagger here, otherwise this is over. Like it's over right now if your team like staggers too hard. So you need to make sure that, because see, they're doing what you guys should have done on your attack. See, they caught the staggers and they continue to press W. They don't have a Lucio, but they still continue to press W. So they're up in your spawn. You guys have come out of spawn, which you shouldn't have done, because currently 3 of your teammates are still dead. They're not in spawn. They haven't even spawned yet, and you guys are out here fighting. So you shouldn't be doing this. You should just be chilling in spawn waiting, because the enemy will walk up and kill you all. Yeah, and they'll just have like a 3v5 or 3v whatever, and you'll all die. So this is not a good fight for you guys to be taking, because this is very good for the enemy. So like all they need to do is reset real fast, get some heals, run into you, and you're all dead. Or if they'd brought more people, you would already be dead. I would not beat into a Tactical Visor, because Tactical Visor sucks, first of all. So basically, your beat here didn't save anyone. You were all full. And you have a Reinhardt, right? Your Reinhardt is just chilling on the front line here, right? So like, literally all your Reinhardt has to do here is hold right click, and you're all fine. Like literally no one dies to that. Like Reinhardt literally just holds right click, and the soldier just sits there and shoots his shield and gets nothing accomplished. Like soldier ult just sucks. Like unless he's on like some massive flank and gets a nanovisor or whatever, like it's not happening. So I would say almost never should you beat in response to a tactical visor. Almost never. There are times when you should, maybe if it's like on a big high ground flank and like you've got nothing to like, you know, you don't have a Reinhardt between you and that, or you've got like your Reinhardt has to shield the front and he can't turn around and you don't have a diva or anybody to like go hold right click on him, then maybe you beat. But like 99% of the time, you do not beat in response to a tactical visor. You need to be thinking about the enemy grab or the enemy nano. Speaking of enemy grabs, you are now all dead, is what I'm thinking. Not yet, but it's coming. Okay, there it goes. Okay, now you're all dead. So, beating in response to tactical visor there was definitely not a good call. I think it definitely had to be the graph. Your McCree just hard carried all the things, and if he hadn't hard carried all the things, you would all be dead. So if he didn't just go on the massive flank right here and just kill the entire enemy team by himself, then you would have just lost the point in the round. So if that right there, that play of the game moment hadn't just happened, that would have been lost, and it would have probably been because you wasted beat on tactical visor. So I do like catching the stagger here on Zarya, but yeah, that was very lucky. Like, had that been your plan, like basically that's the kind of thing that like you want to do in moments that like you don't have beat and you know there's a grav. You want to be like, okay, set up somebody on the flank, like a McCree or your Zarya, and then counter ult, and then like they grab, and then you just like nanoblade them or something, and like you just kill more of them than they kill of you, or you zone them out of the grav with a diva bomb or something like that. Like those are the kind of things you want to think about. Tactical visor is not tactical visor. High noon is a pretty good one to zone people off of grabs, because if they follow up in the grab and your McCree manages to stay safe and not in the grab, he can zone people off of it by just ulting. And then if they follow up on it, he can just kill them off by like basically high nooning at his team. And then if anybody runs at your team, they'd be running into a high noon, which is kind of a death sentence. So should be looking to build beat here. I would probably be sitting high ground maybe with your soldier and helping him out. This is fine. Okay, so I do want to see some more aggression here out of you though. Like right now you're up, you should be speeding in again and helping your team get a grid. This is the first time I've seen you get high ground the whole game. You immediately relinquished it, but I do like that you went there at all. So sitting up there is good. I would be speeding your Rhine backwards. He's very, very weak right now, so I'd be calling him to hold S while he is very weak. And then he's speeding him in that situation. That's fine though, your team won the fight. But like when your team's winning like that, you should be speeding them in, and not only should you be speeding them in, you yourself should be getting in someone's face and like booping them into a corner and trying to just 1v1 them and beat the crap out of them. Because like you're playing very, very poke like Lucio, you just shoot from a distance. You've never really gotten anyone's face this entire game. So like if you see stuns go down or like you see somebody out of position, like do not be afraid to get in their face and 1v1 them just a little bit. Because like right here you're playing very, very safe. So here I would amp heals and immediately beat. So swapping to speed while you're in grab, it's kind of weird, but it's okay. Okay, no, you're fine. Your team won the fight. Good thing you didn't have beat. I don't know how they grab and you get all the kills, but hey, it's fine, dude. It's whatever. Okay. So this next fight, you should know they use their grab. You should think they have shatter, because that's the one that you haven't seen in a while. So this is exactly what I was about to say. I was about to say, get on high ground or on a wall, because you will not be shattered if you're on a wall or you're on high ground. And then if your team gets shattered, they break your Rhine shield, whatever, your entire team gets shattered, you beat to save everyone, right? So from right up here. So I would chill right here, or right on this corner that you're standing on. And then when your team gets shattered, I would not have dropped here. Oh, here comes the shatter. Okay, so when your team gets shattered, you beat from high ground and you save everybody who just got shattered. And I think had you done that, you probably would have at least had a fighting chance in this fight. Maybe you wouldn't have won, but you would have had a chance. Okay, so gotta be regrouping as much as you can here. You have one more fight. Your Moira is dead, so I would be regrouping until the last second here, and then I would speed out and beat. Speed out and beat. Group him, speed out, amp speed, and beat. Nice. You once again did do a little jump for your beat, which is a little weird, but it's actually pretty funny because you landed on someone's head, which is why it went off sooner. So like if you look here, so as I was saying earlier, you don't want to jump for your beats because it takes them longer to go off. So right here, you do actually beat on top of somebody's head, which is why it goes off sooner. So right here, let's just watch in slow-mo because it's funny. Even out here, I think you beat on top of the Rhine's head. Boom. You just beat right on top of his head. Anyways, that's why your beat went off a second sooner. So just so you know, in case you were wondering. Okay, that's good. I wouldn't have necessarily booped him there, but that's fine. When people are shattered, you don't usually want to boop them because it stops your Rhine or somebody else from landing a headshot, or your Rhine from pinning them. and it just makes follow-up more difficult. Like the whole point of a shatter is that like they're stationary, so you moving them with boop makes them a lot safer. So be very wary of booping enemies who are shattered. Okay. Okay, that's that round. Next round here. Okay. So we're out here once again. They're all on high ground. I'd say go ahead and boop them off the high ground. You should be probably not on cart. They have a junk. They have a junk spamming and stuff. So right here, boop them off the high ground. Make them feed. Because right here, your team. So the reason this corner is so good for your team, if you boop them off. So say they're, no, that's fun, junker trap. But anyway, say you're right here. Your Ryan's right here playing the corner like you should be, instead of over on this side of the cart like a weirdo. He should be right here. And the reason why is because if his shield gets broken, he just chills right here, right? And he's good. And all the spam goes right by him, and it doesn't hit him, and he's fine. Them, on the other hand, say you boop their Reinhardt down. And now they have to take the fight right here. And he's taking spam on his shield. And it's breaking. Where does he hide? Nowhere. The only place he can hide is all the way back here. So if he hasn't already used his shield to retreat to there by the time it breaks, he's basically dead. So your team, you booping him down there, putting their Ryan in a bad position, and putting your Ryan in a good position, just like they have to hold shield here, because your Ryan can play this corner as much as he wants, and just chill and hold his shield when he's good, whereas their Ryan has to basically just sit here and perma right click until his shield breaks. So you putting their Ryan in that position by booping him off the high ground would be very good, because a lot of gold Reinhardts, they'll just take this fight. They're stupid. You boop them off the high ground, they'll just sit there and take the fight. Whereas if he's a good Reinhardt, he gets booped down, he immediately charges back, and he gets the hell out of there, because he knows that this is a bad position to be in. So you should be looking to boop him into a position that he does not want to be in. I can feel my voice slowly dying right now. I've been doing a lot of talking today. Just for the record, swapping to speed when you're in a trap is not necessarily recommended. I would be amping heals for yourself at least here. There was a good wall there. I would be amping speed for your team to get into the wall and catch them because you're now up. Okay, you're up 2, so you should be helping your team speed in right now. Good, I'm glad the speed. Nice, you call out for your Ryan to back up, move this Reaper away from him. Nice, you now speed in again. You're about to cap the point, so you should prepare yourself to hold tab, see who gets the long spawn, if anybody does. I don't think anyone will. No one did. However, you can still push up and try and take some space here. So you should still, even if all 6 of them are here, which they are, you should still push up here and take some space with your Reinhardt. Because right now, this right here is a much easier fight to take. Then remember, like last time, they had the Ash up on the high ground over there. They had all this stuff shooting at you. It was really annoying. Here, they're all low ground. This is a much easier fight to take than once they've all got high ground control and you do not, and they're all shooting down on you. So you want to take this fight early here. So I'd be speeding them right now. Okay, so now they have a Tracer. Guys, I guess they want one for stall. So here you might want to play a much more peel-oriented Lucio, which seems very much a lot more like your style. But at the same time, it's essentially the same thing as I was saying before. Like when I was saying you want to 1v1 people, or not 1v1, you want to take your DPS's 1v1s and turn them into 1v2s. So when Tracer dives someone, you just go fight her. And you boop her away from them, you punch her in the head, you like as many boops and punches as you can against Tracer, because they're hard to miss. Tracer's hard to hit with shots, but boops and punches have very large hitboxes, hard to miss. So walk into her, boop her, punch her, shoot her a little bit, turn that 1v1 into a 1v2. So like that McCree, sorry, this Tracer here, I'd probably be running at her right now, being annoying. Whenever your team gets antied, you swap to speed, because they're not getting any benefit from the healing anyways. Okay, you're done. I would be trying to ride walls a little bit more and definitely try to 1v1 the Tracer and stuff. Okay. So here you should be thinking, if you do get back, what ultimates, like if you need your beat, or if you definitely do if you do get it. So I'd be shooting in the grab, maybe punching in it, and then beating immediately. Probably beating here against the tire. Okay. I would have beat before the tire gets there. It gives your team more time to kill it, because if he blows it up, it'll kill no one, so he has to wait, giving your team more time to shoot the tire. Beating against a tire is totally fine. I wouldn't always do it, because like sometimes it's better, but like in overtime, I would definitely do it. Maybe if it wasn't overtime, I would have just sped them back away from the tire. That was a pretty good beat, but I think you might still be dead. Right. Okay. So here I'd be focusing the turret, amping heals for yourself. Nice boop on the brig to push her into your team. You could be finishing her there, nice. Should definitely be amping something though. Yeah, you didn't amp for a long time there. But I would have been focusing the turret, because it kind of just got to sit there on high ground, do whatever I wanted that whole time, which is not good for your team and not good for you. It like reduces your mobility a lot as well, which is not good for you. So here, your team should not be on low ground. You should probably be correcting them that they shouldn't be on low ground, because this is just not a good place to hold for the same, like I already told you why at last round, why this is not a good place to hold. But if you can kind of stop the cart early, maybe, but like, I don't know, this is just weird. Yeah, holding here is not really great, because now they've taken the corner here, basically. Your Rhine has to back up, and now he has no shield, and now he can't run anywhere, right? So he's kind of screwed if they push him. Luckily, they're not pushing him, and both Reinhardts are just holding right-click at each other, but, okay, that ball is very helpful. Okay, so here you definitely need to be backing up a little bit. I'd probably play at the top of the hill here, making them push into you, which is very disadvantageous for them. So remember the reason why I said that this spot over here where you just were is not a good spot for your tanks, and like you see, you just had to do a fighting retreat this whole way, because like you had a disadvantage in shield health. So the reason why was because their Rhine had a corner to play around, yours did not. So like if you can recreate the same scenario, because it's literally right here. So you have your Rhine sit here. Now he has a corner, and their Rhine does not have a corner. So you need to have your team hold here instead of all the way up there. So you sit up there on the high ground, you shoot him, do whatever, and then your first hold should probably be like right here. I realize this is far back, but like this is usually where like you hold, unless like you can end the fight when you're still on high ground over there. And then even better, your DPS, like 1 or 2, you can like stand up here and just shoot down on them as they push it. Like your Ana can sit up here, get free antis, you can sit up here, boot people off, and shoot at people from above while still healing your team. It's all very helpful. So that's probably where I would have tried to hold, and you want to correct your team on where they should be holding this entire time. Okay, so the enemy team kind of just stomped you there, so you should be thinking, what ultimates do they have? You should be thinking, do they have Shatter? Do they have Grav? Do they have Reaper ult? Like, who did the most damage on their team? Who was popping off? Okay, you just saw that Orion land a pin right there, which means he probably has Shatter, because he just got 300 damage down there. Stalling the cart's kind of fine here, I guess. I'd probably get out here, to be honest. Not really worth it. Because all you're doing there is giving your team a different spawn than you. Because if you see right here, you and your Mei got long spawn, the rest of your team got close spawn. That gives your teammates an opportunity to feed their brains out because they're gold and they don't know how to press S, right? So, and also their Lucio is not there to help them press S, so now they die. So I think you needed to leave and not stall the cart there, and that was probably the right answer, and help speed your team out so they don't get staggered here. So here, once again, you need to be contesting high ground. You see that Reaper up there, you say, no, you're not allowed to be there. And you should be, like, denying them high ground, shooting at the enemy from high ground, and you can still speed and heal your team from there. So here you need to be thinking about your beat and when you should be using it. You know they used Grav and Shatter last fight, so you should not use it this fight, if at all possible, because they don't have anything for you to really beat in response to, you would think. Just kidding, you're all dead. But probably there shouldn't have been. Like, your team should have won that because you had Shatter, you had High Noon, etc., etc. Okay. So, main things I think you should work on here is denying high ground from the enemy team. And number one important probably is paying attention to how many people are alive on your team, how many are alive on their team, and getting aggressive when you have more people. And using your speed to help save your teammates from these situations that they're like when they're stuck, like specifically like your Reinhardt and stuff. Um, Try to correct your tank's positioning, stuff like that. Those are the kind of things I think that you should probably be focusing on. Let's see. Things that you did really well. I think your beats in general were very, very well timed for the most part. Um, as I said earlier, there was like a way to like min-max, getting it off and less risk of, it not being a good beat by getting it to go off a little faster. That's, pretty minimal though. But I do think your beats in general were fairly well timed. Um, so that's good. Um, hmm. Okay, I think I'll end that here for now. I hope you learned something. This is to go a little bit longer than I was intending. It's about an hour, so I do apologize for that. But it was a longer match than I was anticipating as well, and I had a lot to say. So I'll end it here.